All right, group, we are on our 11.2 practice, page 4. So here we're doing factor by GCF. So again, if something is not factorable, so if we can't pull out a GCF, then we will write prime. So here we want to find what is common between 10 and 55. And we cannot divide out an x because there's not an x in both terms, but we can divide out a 5. So we bring that 5 out front. And then we just divide down. 10x divided by 5 is 2x. Negative 55 divided by 5 is negative 11. Okay, here on our next one. 2 goes into both 24 and 40, but that's not the biggest number that goes into both. So we want to kind of guess and check until we find our biggest number that can go into both terms. So if we try 4 goes into both, so we'd have 6x minus 10 left, so that wouldn't work. We want something bigger than that, so let's do 8. Yeah, 8 will work. So if we divide by 8, 24 divided by 8 is 3, so we have 3x there. Negative 4 divided by 8 is negative 5. How do I know that I got the biggest number? Well, because there's nothing else I can divide out of 3 and 5. If I had tried 2, for example, we would have had 12x minus 20. Well, 12 and 20 still have a number in common, 4, that I can divide out. So that's how I know I wouldn't have got the biggest with those. So 8 is our biggest because there's nothing else that we can divide out of 3 and 5. Okay, here's 6x and 45. So for 6, we could do 2 and 3 and 6. 45, you can't do 2 and you can't do 6, but if you try 3, you can actually divide by 3. 6x divided by 3 is 2x. Negative 45 divided by 3 is negative 15. Okay, letter D, we can divide out a 9 from both 18 and 9. 18x divided by 9 is 2x. Negative 9 divided by 9 is negative 1. Here we start to see that there are x's in both terms. So we can divide out a 2 from 2 and 8, but we can also divide out an x because both terms have an x in this case. So if we go ahead and divide, 2 divided by 2 is 1. X squared divided by x, we have an x left. You can write the 1 if you wish, but you do not have to. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4, and then our x's will cancel. Okay, 30 and 35 both have 5 in common, as well as there's an x in both terms, so we can divide out an x. 30x squared divided by 5x would be 6x. We have 2, take away 1, x is 30 divided by 5 is 6. Negative 35 divided by 5 is negative 7, and then x is canceled. Okay, letter G. 6 and 27 have a 3 in common. So we divide out 3. We cannot divide out x because the 27 doesn't have an x with it. So 6x divided by 3 is 2x. 27 divided by 3 is 9. All right. So here, 24 and 20 both have 4 in common. X cubed and x squared, we always take out the smallest exponent. So here we can take out an x squared. So here we're left with 24 divided by 4 is 6. We have an x left because we have 3 take away 2. 20 divided by 4 is 5. Our x's cancel. Okay, letter I. Here we have 2 variables. 21 and 14 both are divisible by 7. We have an x in both, so we'll take that out, and we have a y in both, so we'll take that out. 21 divided by 7 is 3. X squared over x, we have an x left. Y's will cancel. Negative 14 divided by 7 is negative 2. X's cancel, Y's cancel. So we're just left with 3x minus 2 on that one. Okay, now we have 3 terms starting in letter J. So if we look, each one of these is divisible by 2. We cannot divide out an x because the 6 does not have an x. So our 2's cancel. 16x divided by 2 is 8x. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, letter K, 15, 27, and 3 are all divisible by 3. Again, not every term has an x, so we can't divide out x. 15x squared over 3 would get us 5x squared. 27x over 3 would get us 9x. Negative 3 over 3 is negative 1. In letter L, there's not a common number that we can divide out, but each term does have an x. So we're going to divide out an x for each term. So we're left with x squared minus 9x minus 15. Okay, 3 more. Letter M. 6, 14, and 22 all can be divided by 2. Each term does have an x. We're going to divide out an x as well. 6 divided by 2 is 3. X cubed over x is x squared. Negative 14x squared over 2x. We have negative 7, 1x left. Our x's cancel on our last term, and then negative 22 divided by 2 is negative 11. Okay, letter N. What's in common here? 5, 8, and 10 don't have a number in common, but if you look at each term does have a y. So we're going to divide out y from each term. So we're left with 5x squared minus 8x plus 10. Okay, letter O. So here, well, there's a lot going on. 16, 6, and 10 are all even numbers, so we know we can at least divide by 2. We do have an x in each term, and we do have a y in each term. So our 2xy will come out front for our GCF, and now we can divide. 16 divided by 2 is 8, x cubed over x, x squared, y cubed over y, y squared. 6 divided by 2 is positive 3, x squared over x, there's an x left, y squared over y, there's a y left. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5, x's cancel and y's cancel. So that is all we have left for letter O.